Right, I'm here with Graham Binns, who's a Launchpad developer. Hi, Graham.
Hello.
How are you enjoying UDS?
I'm really enjoying it so far, yeah.
What have you been up to today?
So I'm here to talk to all the teams at UDS and basically listen to them talk to me about Launchpad a bit. So today I've spent time with the kernel team. I spent time with the kernel team just before lunch, and I'm going to be spending some time with the server team this afternoon.
So what sort of things are the kernel team after in Launchpad?
Well, one of their big problems is that when they're coming up to a release, they do a search for all the bugs that need to be fixed. So once freeze happens, there's a certain number of bugs that will be made sort of critical to fix before release. One of the problems that they have is that sometimes people will come along and change the status of those bugs, and because they've used a search to find the bugs that they want, those bugs then disappear from the search results, because search results are mutable. And that's one of their big problems. It basically means that there are bugs that they are supposed to fix that don't show up on the what we're supposed to do list. One of the ways that we are talking about being able to solve that is something that we're calling a bug bag, which is basically a container that you create into which you can put any bugs. They always stay there, they don't go anywhere else. The bug bag can be owned by a team or by a person, and that's a way of keeping track of a discrete set of bugs, sort of regardless of any other criteria.
Okay, cool. So one of the big announcements that's happened, well, yesterday in fact, was about the open sourcing of Launchpad.
Yes.
Now, we know for a while it's going to be open sourced, but the date has now been set.
It has, yes.
Can you remember what it is?
It's the 21st of July.
Next year?
Yes.
Okay, and how's that news gone down?
So far, it seems to be pretty positive. A few of the Launchpad developers haven't heard that it was going to be the 21st of July, so there was a few people who went, oh, we're going to be busy then. There's been quite a positive response from the community. A few people were slightly disappointed because we aren't going to be open sourcing the whole of Launchpad. There are certain parts that aren't going to be open sourced.
Which bits are they?
The back end of Soyuz, which is the system that builds Ubuntu, is not going to be open sourced. But on the other hand, that requires that much infrastructure to run that I suspect that even if it were open sourced, it would just be for people to read the code. I very much doubt that anybody except a large corporation would actually have the resources to be able to run it.
So after the July 2009 date, people will be able to do what? Set up their own Launchpad installation?
Yes, that'll be entirely possible. They'll be able to commit fixes to Launchpad. Well, what will happen is that we'll open up everything that we've done so far, and we'll accept submissions from the community. They will go through our normal review process. We have a code review team within Launchpad, so they will go through that review process, and then either we will sponsor their fixes being committed to Launchpad in much the same way as Motu sponsor a package upload, or they will get access to put their branches through PQM, which is what we use to commit changes to Launchpad. So
what have you got to do ahead of the July release?
We've got quite a bit of tidying up to do, quite a bit of gardening. Unfortunately, the Launchpad is a very, very big project, and over I can't remember how long it's been in development now, 3 years or so, there has been quite a bit of cruft that's accumulated. So we need to go through and sort that out. We need to do some basic structural reorganisation as well. At the moment, the Launchpad code base isn't organised as logically as it should be. So although it makes sense to us as developers, that's only because we've sat there and actually looked at it for a long time, and now we know where to look for things. So we need to do some reorganisation. But other than that, we'd like to think that the code's pretty good. We're not going to have to worry about going in and documenting things because that's part of our standard process anyway. So hopefully it should be fairly straightforward to open source once we've done the rearrangements.
So does the Launchpad development cycle fit in with the Ubuntu development cycle particularly?
Yes, what we're trying to do is we're very careful that our development cycle doesn't impact on the Launchpad development cycle. We have a number of 4-week development cycles in a year, with a couple of 5-week ones thrown in there as well. And the reason we throw the 5-week ones in is that we can't allow Launchpad to be unstable during the run-up to an Ubuntu release, and certainly during the release week itself, because the last thing that the distro team needs is for Launchpad to be falling over when they're trying to fix bugs and what have you. So we plan around the two releases every year and make sure that we don't interfere with those.
Now, along with Matt Revell, you do the Launchpad podcast.
Yes.
About Launchpad. What's the things you talk about on that?
We tend to use it as we talk to people who use Launchpad. So we talk to a few projects who are doing interesting things with Launchpad. Matt recently did an interview with a guy that was using Launchpad for his project, but in a very, very specific way. I can't remember the exact details, but it turns out that although we might think there's a very straightforward way to use Launchpad, people are infinitely inventive. And we also we discuss new features and often interview members of the team who have something important to get out to the public. So that's generally our focus.
Okay, cool. And so you're here at UDS. Other than working with people to find out what they want to get out of Launchpad,
yes.
What else are you doing this week?
Mostly I am spending time just talking to people, finding out how they work, finding out how we can improve Launchpad without so much going around and asking. So one of the things that I hopefully will be doing this week is sitting down and walking through a typical operation in Launchpad with somebody. Not so much to ask them what they think they should change, but so that I can observe them and make notes. I'll be working with Martin Albisetti, who's our UI guru, and we'll hopefully be coming up with ways to make the Launchpad user interface smoother and more usable.
And you're also playing instruments at people on
yes,
Friday?
Yes, I will be, yes. And I'm very much looking forward to that. Anyone who was at UDS Prague will remember that we had Ubuntu All-Stars on the Friday night, and we're having a repeat of that this Friday. I play bass and guitar, amongst other things, but bass and guitar is what we have available. So that should be quite a laugh. It always is.
Any idea what tracks we're going to be subjected to?
I have to keep that to myself.
Oh, right.
So far. Or John O'Bacon will go and kill me in my sleep.
And we wouldn't want that.
No, we wouldn't.
All right, well, thank you very much for talking to us, Graham.
Thank you very much.